Wow. My drum likes this dry weather. Oh, look at that. Look how tight that is. And in North Carolina, it just like hit butter. Well, happy Eclipse Eve, everybody. That's fun. We may do more of that before this night is over. I am loving that you guys are putting in there where you're from, and I'm just going to start right here at the bottom. Oh, wow, Johnny Paycheck is here. This is great. Man, if I'd known this, we would have gone to YouTube a long time ago. This is great. Wow, this is awesome. Let's see, Misbehaving now is one of our regulars, and she is in the hospital in the UK. So she's going to say hello, bye, and go to sleep. And understandably so. We hope you get out soon, and we hope that you're feeling better for sure. Is the audio okay? I made a couple of changes, and if you guys would just give me a thumbs up that this is sounding okay, it should be. I saw the drum was banging the red there. But I love that you guys are putting in where you're from. This is just great. I love it. Let's see where everybody is. And hello to all of you. This is just fantastic. I'm going to just run through these really quick. And see, Arnaldo is here from Europe as well. Audio's perfect. Okay, good. Okay, good. So this is just great. I am so glad to see all of you. This is so awesome. Okay, so oh, we got Nancy is in here. Wow, everybody found YouTube. This is great. I'll tell you why we did it here in a minute. There. Wow, this is just great. So cool. There's Jenny in St. Augustine. There's Kristen is in the house. Wow, this is great. Good for you all. So the reason we're on, there's Robin. Okay, now Arnaldo and Robin are here. We can begin. We're good. The reason I switched just to YouTube is because for one reason, every time since we've been doing this for 2.5 years, that not everybody gets that name thing approval on Facebook. So we can't see the names half the time. The other thing is this week I was talking to Chet, who does all the video posting for me. And if you look at what he just does it. He does it to help. And if you look at all the videos that are posted now, that's all Chet. Chet, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And we were talking about this, and we are trying to monetize this channel and grow it, and this helps to grow it if we're all over here. So get no credit from Facebook at all. So that's the reasoning of why we kind of did it. So fantastic. And exactly, great point, Johnny. Yeah, well, a lot of us are heading in that direction, I think, more and more. So, yeah, no kidding. Thanks, Nancy, for acknowledging. Let's all give Chet a hand. Woohoo! Okay, this is an interesting point. I'll just say this aside. And Johnny, not to say anything about putting this up. Everybody, we've got a Discord channel, and I'll say the word. But as you guys know, a lot has happened in my life and in my world the past month since I left Florida, or left wherever I was last to come out here, wherever I am now. And Discord. And words to me have energy. And I know, because this whole thing that's going on is about energy. It's the basis of energy. So I live by the energy rule, and that we have a group. Kristen runs it. And we have, what is it, Kristen, now 400 or 500 people that talk astrology on our Discord channel, Fun Astrology Discord channel. But I'm like, so every time we have to say that word, what are we creating? And I know it goes with intentions and all of that. I'm just saying that right now it's a word that's kind of like, ugh, and I'm working through it. I'm processing, and I came to grips early this week. In fact, since we talked last week, when I woke up on Monday, I just was like, dude, you're depressed. You are clinically depressed in every kind of sign. And that's something that, even when we do this kind of work, when we take a blow, it affects us and we have to process it. So I just kind of stopped a lot of things that I was doing and started to work on myself and just getting myself back, getting my sleep, because I was sleeping and waking up tired. That was one of the clues. And I've been doing that for a couple of weeks, thinking, well, I'll just get a little more sleep, or it'll turn, it'll pivot. Usually my marker is 4 days. Usually when I get down or depleted from whatever, a van trip or, whatever, moving, 4 days, boom, bounce back. Wasn't happening. So I realized, okay, not only is the emotional factor at play, so is the physical factor. And when you put those two together, depression basically is a depletion of neurochemicals processing our serotonin through different sides of the brain. So I thought, okay, so that's why you can't see it, but I've got my bouncer right behind me. I'm bouncing, which is wonderful therapy because that moves your whole spinal column. Kundalini yoga, moving the spinal column. So, and just sleeping more. Like I was trying to stay on the East Coast time because of the market and because all of you guys, it seems like, are on the East Coast. I wake up, I want to talk to you guys, I want to engage. And it's like, I get up at 7, it's 10. You guys are all off on your day. And I missed that morning. So I was trying to get up early and trying to go to bed early, and it just wasn't working. So I just stopped and was like, okay, I'm going to work on me. And I'm already feeling better, but I'm also not running from that. This is just where I am, and I'm going to process through it in a very healthy way. And one of the things I'm looking forward to tomorrow is getting out there and, see 400 folks that just like to talk astrology in Discord. And then Kristen says, yeah, blah. So I don't know. We're thinking about some alternatives, but that's not forefront right now. So, thank you. Appreciate that. Melatonin. Yeah, the thing is I get to a point, I don't have trouble falling asleep. I did the other night, but some stuff had come up. Some of my situation stuff had come to my attention, I guess. And anyway, I just, I hear you. Point taken, Arnaldo. Thanks. I appreciate it. Move that center, move that core. Absolutely. Okay. I'd love to know how many of you, as you're watching tonight, or if you're watching tonight from some kind of special location that you have gone to in order to see the eclipse. Would you drop in that you have done that and where you are? I know you put some people put their locations in earlier, but I just would love to see who is in a special place. And then if you're going to a special place, we're going to talk a little bit about the eclipse. There's been so much out there right now that I thought we would just work on getting ourselves centered and focused and grounded tonight. You've heard a lot about the eclipse and it's all over the news, and I know the networks are covering it and it's just going to be all over. So I have some fun things that normally we haven't done here, because when I was in North Carolina, I wasn't able, I had an agreement with the folks that there wouldn't be any incense or sage or anything like that. And I held my end of the deal. So here, not such an agreement. So I can do all the sage I want to. Hamilton, Ontario. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, we're going to talk about direct path. Maybe also, while you're dropping this in, have you seen a total solar eclipse before? So like if you saw the one in 2017, that you were in the zone, not that you saw it like I'm going to see it 50 or 60%, but you were there. You experienced totality. So Mary came to her daughter's in Cleveland. She's on Lake Erie. Oh, wow. Oh, look at this. Oh, that is so perfect, because we're going to show some horizon shots here in a bit. And that's, I'm from Hamilton, Ontario too. Oh, look at that. You guys need to connect. See there? Look, there's that. Okay. And there, you guys are neighbors. That's awesome. Cool. Wonderful. Wonderful. That is perfect, Mary. You're going to get to see it, hopefully. And I hope everybody who has traveled, I hope that the cloud cover does not get you. Rob saw the one in 2017 from Columbia, South Carolina. Wow, cool. Lived in the path of totality in Vermont, but moved last summer. Now he's out here in the great state of California. Good. All right. Well, I hope it's clear where you are for sure. And if it's not, and you get up and look at the weather in the morning and it's clear 50 miles from where you are, please get in the car and go and see this. It's on the edge of totality is not totality. And I'll show you why in a minute. So it's an amazing experience. So why don't let's see. Why don't we go through let me go through the slides here just real quick and show you a couple of things. Here's why. Yeah, Texas is perfect for this one. Oh my gosh. It's just coming right up there. Guys, this is what we're in for. It is a phenomenon of nature that is just absolutely amazing. And these shots, I just pulled some random stuff off the internet. I don't even know. I'm sorry. I don't know who to give credit to on these. I should have captured that, but I just didn't have time today. But what you're going to see when it goes total is a glow around the whole horizon. And it is the most wonderful, marvelous, incredible feats of nature. And I always think about when there's a total eclipse, what the ancients, what our ancestors must have thought when all of a sudden they're out there working in the field and they don't have computers and they don't have time calculators. And back then they didn't maybe even have a calendar. And all of a sudden it starts to get dark. And then all of a sudden there's a glow all the way around, not just sunset over here or over there. It's all around you. And it is absolutely spectacular. I remember this one was from the Tetons. And those of you who are in that zone, hopefully, if it's not too cloudy, will see this. Now, if you're watching through your glasses or you have a telescope handy or binoculars, this is the idea of what you're going to see. And the secret is that when it gets total, that's when it gets dark. But if you look at those crescents, you're going to be amazed at how much light is still in the sky with even that much sunlight blocked. It's incredible. The sun is amazing. So that lower left picture is when it's starting to retreat again. The moon is moving on and it gets light pretty fast. And by the quarter there, the quarter on the top and the quarter on the bottom, you don't even know that there's an eclipse happening. So it is just an amazing phenomenon. So yeah, that's mostly dark, but not quite dark. And then what you will see, especially if you have binoculars or a telescope, is you'll be able to see little flares coming off the sun. Now, the thing is right now, there aren't that many solar flares on the sun. So but if you get well, in fact, on this one, you can see just to the right of the big glow bulb there, you'll see a little flare coming off just to the right, and then go down from it just a little farther down to about the 4 o'clock position. You'll see another little batch. And I mean, that is visible on a telescope. Let me give you a name, and I'm sorry I didn't put this in the notes, but let me just look this up real quick in mine. Andrew Macaulay, I think is what it is. Oh, you know what I didn't hear? Hang on, guys. I'm sorry, but I do want to give you this. For those of you on Twitter, this guy is absolutely... Oh, my goodness. I thought I made a note on this yesterday. Here it is. Andrew McCarthy. So it's Andrew McCarthy, McCarthy. His Twitter is at A. James McCarthy. And this guy is an amazing, I mean, truly amazing photographer of the sky beyond. And he has traveled to Texas. He has all of his equipment, and he is supposedly going to be live streaming tomorrow. And if you wanted somebody that's going to be doing it a lot different from anybody else, this guy's stuff is going to be incredible. Or you could watch it on Twitter after the fact, of course. But Andrew, let me give you that again. Andrew McCarthy, McCarthy, at A. James McCarthy on Twitter. Incredible. So, and even on Twitter, his bio, there's a link there, and that link will take you to a sign up where he's going to email out when he's live. So if there's cell service out of Joshua Tree, that's what I'm going to be doing, is watching that from out there. So that was just a little tip there. Hey, Sophie, glad you're here. This is great. Sophie made a really good move this week. She said that I saw that snow in Boston, and I said, hey, how are you doing? And she said, I'm in Miami. Good for you. Good move. And she didn't have that. She wasn't there for that hurricane either, or hurricane. You know what I'm talking about. The other thing of nature. All right, good. I'm trying to think ahead and behind and everything else. Oh, so Melissa's in Cleveland with Mary. Awesome. Awesome. And then Rob's got a good point. It is. It's an all or nothing show. It truly is. It's 100% is way to put it, where the magic happens. Exactly. All right. Oh, okay. Your neighbor invited you to come back and look at it in Massachusetts tomorrow. She brought us all glasses. Should I avoid it? You know what? I would not take Ivy, because I just don't think kids, I mean, unless you know that you can keep her from looking up there, but everybody's going to be looking at the sun. What's a kid going to obviously want to do? We have Bridget in our group put a paper plate over the glasses and isolated that, and I'm sure taped it down with everything. But, well, it really is an amazing phenomenon. But the point is, you know, this is like one of those things that, yeah, we have to say is absolutely do not look up at the sun ever with the naked eye. You'll end up in the hospital, and it could blind you, even in totality. I wouldn't do it. If you have, there are binoculars. Celestron did an Eclipse series of binoculars. I have a pair over here. That's what I'm going to use. The glasses, you know, some you have to decide whether you can trust them. And how do you tell without, you know, just looking up there? Now, the way that I do with the binoculars is I get below the sun, because it's hard to find, even with I don't have the strongest power. You get below the sun and you tilt them up. So you could do that with the glasses, get below the sun, tilt up, test it just at the peripheral. So you're not looking right at it, but you can tell, ooh, that's too bright. And that would be one way that you could test it for yourself. Having kids exposed to that, where they could look up, because they're ultimately curious and they want to know. So if you have kids, be really, really, really careful, please. Yeah, and this is another good point. Great, Johnny, I'm so glad you're here. This is just awesome. Woohoo! Welcome in. some people in the ancients felt, Jenny, I'd like to have you weigh in on this too. Um, so, um, looking at the eclipse, looking at it through your glasses. The ancients thought, don't look at it if you wanted to experience the energetic part of it. That the moon ate the sun. I think that's, and you say have your own discernment. That's what I was thinking relative to this, was that if you get out there and something just says, don't look up there, then don't look up there. That's real easy. It's called following your intuition, right? I'm going to enjoy it too. I enjoyed it in 2017. Um, yeah. Oh, good for you. Melissa took some time off and left some good instructions for her class. That's really cool. And I'm so glad you're there with Mary and the totality. That's going to be fun. All right, let's do a couple of things here. First of all, I'm going to, for all of us, light a candle. I didn't bring the normal. This is going to be I've got one of these. I use this in my little chemistry kit that I make my secret sauce with. Now this thing, I gotta be careful here because I filled it up the other day. There, okay. All right. Yeah, see, junkie. Right here on live YouTube. I'm just gonna light one, but that's for all of us. And I still haven't purchased just a plain white candle, but this is for all of us. And if you have one and you can get your hands on it and not throw flame around your house, you might want to light one too. Voila. And so that's for all of us here. And then I'm just going to do this real quick. That sounds so good. Man, that sounds good. Actually, before we light the sage, just do this again because this sounds really good too. All right, here we go. And just let the sage come up. There, you can see it. Nice. Nice. And here's yours. Michelle. Connection to the ocean. Connection to the water. Mother Earth. Here's to protection and blessing for all of us. The powerful smoke of the sage brings. I'll have to figure out how to be able to have the candle on camera. That's right back here. That's a salt lamp right there. You have a great card. This one, I don't do this too often with the deck, but this one fell out. It popped out. So it's the 10 card, the wheel. And this, of course, is from the Light Seers deck from Chris Ann. Just an amazing, amazing deck. So the wheel. I'm going to just, while I read this first part. Catch it, camera. 1, 2, Mercury retrograde. 3. There we go. The wheel. The Light Seer. Changes. Fate. Destiny. A lucky break. Cycling up through karmic lessons. The chaos of creation. A turning point. Serendipity. On the shadow side, misfortune. Karma. A need to relinquish control. The ups and downs of life. The inevitability, that's a take two when you're doing an audiobook. The inevitability of change. An unexpected setback. It says, get ready, sweet soul, for the wheel is about to gift you divine blessings. Synchronicity is afoot, so look for wonderful new opportunities to propel your life ahead. Be prepared for fortuitous meetings or a fork in the path that will change everything for the better. Robert Glasscock sent me an email last night that basically kind of said that very thing right there, just encouraging me. If you're open to spotting opportunity, it's yours for the taking. Just follow the breadcrumbs of serendipity and fate toward your happy ending. Remember that the wheel is always spinning and that things are never the same as they were before. Learn to enjoy this constant regeneration and know that with every spin, we have the chance to cycle upward toward our own expansion and enlightenment. Trying to control the outcome of the Wheel of Fortune would prove to be impossible, so don't. Grab your lucky dice and see the spinning of the wheel for what it really is. All the beauty of a lifetime of experiences waiting to spring forth and to be lived. And the tagline, I allow the transformative energies of fate to help me expand my experience. There. Aren't you glad you came just for that? That's awesome. And you can look these up, by the way. They have a website. The Light Seers deck has a website where you can look these up. So if you'd like to go back and read that on the number 10, you can search it right up online for free. Let me go back to the slides for just a brief, quick sec here, because I had a couple of other things that I thought might just be fun. We won't spend a lot of time on this, but if you wanted to see the planets up in the sky, calling that the bundle. And obviously you see the sun and the moon there. And on my chart, I keep the sun moon midpoint as a point on my chart because I always like to see where that is when I'm taking a look at things. It's a very active point that often, because some people don't put the sun and the moon or the midpoint on their chart, you can look at it and eyeball it, but this way you see exactly where it is. So that's why the sun and the moon are not right together. But if you look over to the right, you see Pluto hanging out there by itself at 1 degree Aquarius over there at the 3 o'clock position on the clock face, and then go up, just go backwards, counterclockwise. You see Mars there, the obvious symbol, the male symbol, Mars. And the one right next to that is Saturn. Those two come together on Wednesday. Neptune is next to that. And then Venus is next to that. And then, very significant, the north node of the moon. And that's why we have an eclipse, because the sun and the moon are near the nodes of the moon. And then on the left side of the sun, right there, notice it's just 1 minute. It takes 8 minutes past the eclipse, 8 minutes after totality, the sun conjoins Chiron. And that's why all these deep wounds are coming up. And then the midheaven, and then Mercury in retrograde. See the little RX below Mercury, the little red RX? Mercury's at 24 degrees, 47 minutes. And all of that is in Aries. That very aggressive, get it done, start it, launch it, push it forward, or fight and kill it. And then to the left of that is Jupiter. And to the left of that is Uranus or Uranus. And those two come together on April 20th. And of course, you've heard on the podcast, Robert and I are doing a webinar on April 20th at 4 p.m. If you'd like to get in on that. If you're not available for it, there will be a replay for everybody who subscribes, and it will be available for sale afterwards at the same price. So, whatever works for you. We just wanted to make it available. And we're going to go through all the sun signs and talk about how the Jupiter-Uranus affects everybody that way. Here are a couple of interesting things on the eclipse. So the last total eclipse in the United States was August 17th, 2017. Some of you may have seen that. That's the one that I saw and thought, that was such a great experience. There was a guy with a telescope there. He had the whole thing, and it was amazing. And I just thought, after this move, if I hadn't have moved, I would have gone. But having moved, I just need to be close to home. So Caroline Horn is coming, and we're going to meet in Joshua Tree. The last solar eclipse was last fall, October 23rd, and that was a partial, they call it annular, and that's because the moon is farther away from the Earth. We'll get to that in just a second. The reason that it's a full solar or total solar eclipse is that the sun and the moon are at both 7 degrees north. I forgot to put the north in there, sorry. 7 degrees north, 35 minutes. And the moon is at 7 degrees north, 54 minutes. That's enough to block it out. So the moon is in perigee. It hit perigee today, 1 p.m., I believe it was, UTC. It's closest to the Earth today. So that's, again, why we're having it. 223,575 miles if you're keeping score. And then these were just some thoughts that I had on the eclipse. So like observing the eclipse, I think, and this is, Johnny had it right. This is like, what are you going to do? You have to figure out what you're going to do. But it is part celebration. And a lot of you are together, and there will be a lot of, people being together, et cetera, and family, like Johnny said, he's, celebrate with my family, enjoy it with my family, kids. And it's also, there's a moment there of introspection and reflection that's part of this day too. So some ideas that you might want to do as part of your morning tomorrow would be some yoga or some meditative music or some chai tea, journaling, or whatever kind of tea, just some good tea. Tea's good for the soul, isn't it? Tea makes us feel good. Maybe some journaling. There may be group energy. There may be times you want to pull away from the group energy and just have a moment to yourself. The one thing I would suggest, whatever you're doing, is if you're in the totality area, once it gets total, be in that moment as best you can. It's incredible. What a feat of nature. Eclipses. What's kind of the bottom line of this one? Endings and beginnings. And the thing here is to maybe be more in touch with intentions than kind of a manifestation wish list. And I'm thinking this eclipse is a time to cleanse and to prepare. Like, don't bring Santa Claus your toy list. Do that the next new moon. Do that a month from now. Use that one to create the manifestations. Use this one to cleanse the vessel to receive. And here's a great suggestion. Add a candle. You bet. Thank you. I'm going to put one in the van. Thank you. Thank you. Use this one from tonight. Yeah, good. And then obviously you'll have things that you want to do as well. So it is just a really special time, and we are celebrating around here. I know there's so much out there noise about, make sure that you are, what have I been saying? Make sure that your gas tank is full. Well, yeah, if you're going to drive in the totality, yeah. And, the thing is, I was in, Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is the one that's down in the southern corner, the southeastern corner of Wyoming. Is that Casper or is that Cheyenne? That's where I was. There's another one that's further north. I was down there, and I was living in Aspen at the time, and I'd driven up there. It was about a 4-hour drive. And I had some friends who were living there at the time, and they were hosting this little get together, and they had a beautiful backyard that you could see everything. They were up on this hill, and it was no trees, and it was totally clear sky. It was just amazing. And then it was over, and they were having a big celebration downtown. And as that started to break up, and I was watching the map on the phone, and I was like, it looked like LA traffic at 4 o'clock on Friday. I mean, it was like, and back roads going back to Colorado, and then there were alerts coming up. It is a big press on the infrastructure. So my friend said, well, we've got an extra room, and we're going to grill a steak and sit in the hot tub tonight. You're welcome to stay here. Okay. I was like, took that long. Said, okay. I wasn't prepared to stay overnight, but we threw a toothbrush and whatnot together, and I stayed overnight. And they were very gracious and had a good time. So I think there might have been a trip to Walmart there. But that's the deal about being in the totality, is it's just going to be busy, and it'll be fun, and enjoy every bit of it. Hey, Liz, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're in a good position for the eclipse in North Carolina or wherever you are. Yeah, I saw this. Congratulations are in order. This was back on the card. Melissa wrote. Melissa got her Reiki certification this weekend, or recently, so this past week. So let's give Melissa a hand. Everybody can't hear that, but yeah, it's she completed her level 1 training for Reiki, so that's great. Happy for you. Fantastic. All right. Why don't we do a meditation here? Let's start to center ourselves. We've made a lot of noise here tonight. I'm going to just do this again. Rob was telling me that the drum made distortion. I still have to figure that out, but let's do this just to bring us all into alignment along our chakra and get centered for a good meditation to balance off for this eclipse. You know, the first thing I want to do to start this off is just tell you I love you. I love you for the journey that you're on, warts and all, good, the bad, the times that you're on, the times that you're off, the do-overs we wish we all had. I just love you. I appreciate you coming here Sunday night after Sunday night after Sunday night to do this. We've had no idea it would go 2.5 years, but I know there are a lot of times we've been glad that it has. So in that tone of love, let's bring ourselves all together around this beautiful planet that we live on. And right up that cloud, don't we wish, you know, if that was the cloud cover forecast for tomorrow, which it is not, but if it was, you guys would be in crystal zone. Look at that. Wow. Wouldn't that be great? But you know, this phenomenon of nature is going to be casting the moon's shadow for a brief 4 minutes at the most. 4 minutes and something is the most it's going to be. Right up the middle of the United States. Putting its phenomenon of nature mark on those who are in that zone. And then the rest of us will be watching and observing from television or YouTube or Andrew McCarthy on Twitter. And we'll be enjoying that and maybe looking up in the sky from wherever we are, seeing part of it. So for a minute, just set aside all the noise and the chaos that has been around this eclipse. My goodness, the world is just going crazy about this thing. It's a new moon, guys. It's a new moon. It's a new moon that's special. And it gives us a chance to, think about it. Go dark for a few minutes to think about ourselves. The phenomenon of the eclipse to me is that glow around the horizon. If ever there was an eclipse out in the water and they did cruises or ships, where they were going to align in the totality zone, that would be the most amazing experience of them all. Wow. It is so something else to see basically sunset all around you. And then it comes back up. And it's so fast. So what I would infuse into your lives for tomorrow, however you're seeing it, is when it goes total, bring your thoughts to nothing but and nowhere but love. Don't have your thoughts on a manifestation list. Don't have your thoughts on how you're going to get out of there, wherever you are with the traffic. Don't have your thoughts on the group and whatever they're doing. Have your thoughts centered and focused on love. And let's practice right now. So just fill your whole being as much as you ever have before, ever, till you're bubbling over. It's oozing out. It's penetrating your aura. It's moving out around you in that space, that magnetic space that surrounds your body, 3 to 5 feet. Love. And just say to yourself, I am loving awareness. Feel love. And then send that love to others. You've seen names in the chats here. And I love that we're all together in one chat and that we can see everybody's name. You might even scroll back up through the chat and send love. Ash, I'm sending love to you. I'm just going off the bottom here for a couple of names. Ash and Melissa. I love you. Arnaldo. I texted Arnaldo yesterday to make sure he could get on here with us. Got to take care of my man. Tim, welcome. Love you. MM a fan, 420. Love you too. Thanks for being here. Nancy, big hug. Love you. Brenda, love you. Kristen, love you. Love Soulflower, love you. Mary, love you. Liz, love you. Jenny, love you. Ours, thanks for being here. Love you. Send love to each other. Send love to one another. When we're all doing that, send love to 5 or 10 people. Just go get them, get their names. Maybe go to the top and work your way down. Pass it around. As though we could be together. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Still have that dream. Won't stop dreaming that dream. I am loving awareness. I love everything I'm aware of. Tomorrow will be several hours as the sun is overtaken by the moon of phenomenon of nature. Loving awareness. And amidst all the noise, what a beautiful high vibe way to experience this. To just focus on love. If you're with your family, especially. Nancy says, sending a wave of love to everyone in the chat tonight. Beautiful. Oceans of love. Yeah, fill it up even more. Isn't that beautiful? I know you can feel the love being circulated right now. Love being shared by all to all. Even the Bible said there's nothing greater. Faith, I was thinking about this getting ready. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. faith and hope are pretty good energies. If you wanted to hang out somewhere, nothing wrong with those two. Love is the ultimate. The greatest of these is love. And I know there's been a lot thrown at us. And when we focus on love like we're doing right now, it doesn't even show up on the radar, does it? So there you go. There's the focus. Keep it going. Just picture being at that beach scene, sending love around the circle. Love to all, light to all, peace to all. We really are all one. And when we connect in love, that veil between us gets really thin. I put up what Jenny says here. The symbolism of our sun's light being blocked, our source for the clarity and the objective reality, forces us to follow our own inner light. And there we find a deeper connection to each other and to the divine. Thank you, Jenny. Beautiful words. In fact, let's focus right now on our own inner light, which, through what we've done tonight, should be really on fire. Through the sage, through our wheel card, through the candle. Should activate that inner light much brighter tonight. So what is your inner light? Where does it come from? Where do you go to find it in your body? Heart chakra? Third eye? Solar plexus? Crown? Root? Where does it show up for you? Your sun, your inner light. What activates it? Should have just been activated. In tomorrow's Fun Astrology podcast, I looked up the Sabian symbol for this eclipse, 20 degrees Aries, and it was about hospitality. The idea being exactly what we're doing here, sharing your resources with others, getting outside of ourselves, focusing on others. That activates that light, doesn't it? Let's do an Om together. In fact, let's do 3. If you're in a place where you can do it out loud, great. If you're in a place where other people can hear you, even better. Oh. And just in that energy of pure love, I'm just going to put this up. For some reason, it said to do it. If you need to break from energy that might prevent you from being at your fullest tomorrow, just a little cord cutting. Never hurts to go through and think about what cords you might want to cut to that which no longer serves, because that is a big piece of this eclipse energy. This is as much about cleansing as it is about beginning. I now hereby release and sever all cords to person that do not serve and support our highest good. As I cut the ties to you, I honor my space and I honor your space. We each stand free in our own light. I am free. You are free. As I cut the ties to you, I honor my space and I honor your space. We each stand free in our own light. I am free and you are free. Only that which is beneficial and empowering remains. And so it is. I want to tell you a little secret. Today had been a busy day and a busy afternoon. And I had stretched a cord out. You can see it. You can see it right. Let's see, right there. That little line is a internet LAN cable going back to the router, which is back in the other room. And I was tripping over it, and it was time to start, and my feet were tangled up in the thing, and I just thought, Mercury retrograde. Like, and I didn't know what I had no script. I had no idea what was going to happen tonight, but I think it's been one of our best connections and one of our best level ups that we've had in 2.5 years. So thank you guys for holding space and for being here and for thinking that eclipses are cool. And a lot of you have traveled to see it and experience this, knowing that we won't have it at least here in the United States for another, or in Canada and Mexico for another 20 years. But thank you for being here and for holding the space. And I just hope that we go from here holding that love all the way through the day tomorrow, because it is magical energy. And I hope that all of you just have a wonderful, beautiful day tomorrow, however you're participating in it and celebrating it, and that it just meets all of your wonderful expectations, and that it is truly a memorable day that you will never forget if you're in that area of totality. So I'm going to go with Caroline Horn, our Akashic record reader, to Joshua Tree. She said that she was excited to show me that energy out there. And supposedly it is wonderful. So thank you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful week. It certainly is going to get started off incredibly well. And with everything about the eclipse, just go have a good time and use your common sense and have a great day. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Johnny. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. All right, you guys, have a great one. Thanks, Kristen. Thank you for being here as always. All right. Have a great week. Have a great eclipse. Wishing you well. Good night.